Hey everyone! Today I'm going to be going over how I personally style a Midoryia or Deku wig, since it seems to be one of the most requested videos I've gotten. That, and I finally had the chance to style a new one so I could film the process for you all. So without further ado, let's jump in. To start things off, the wig I use as a base is an Apollo in white from Epic Cosplay Wigs. They do have a couple greens you can choose from, but I personally like the color I get from dyeing the wig, so that's the process I'm using. Now, I've already gone over this process in another video, so I'll link that one if you want a more in-depth explanation, but I'll run through it quickly here. First things first, get your pot and boil some water. Once it's at a boil, turn the heat down slightly so it's just a simmer and pour your dye in and stir. I use Rit Dye-More in Peacock Green, and because of how big my pot is, I pour the entire bottle in for a more saturated color. Wet your wig in cold water and then toss it in the pot, continually stirring so it dyes evenly. After it's the color you want, rinse it in cold water and then soap to get the residual dye out. Set it on a towel and let dry. I usually let it sit overnight to dry. Once dry, it's time to give this wig a little bit of life. Because Deku's hair has that weird, is it a gradient or is it just strong shadows vibe, I opt for the strong shadows end of the spectrum. So to emulate this, I take some black acrylic paint and a fan brush and layer by layer darken the roots of my wig so that in the end it has more heavy shadows and dimension between the spikes. Let your paint dry a couple hours before trying to style. Last thing you want is to get wet paint all over your hands and styling tools. Once the paint is dry, brush it out with a fine-tooth comb just to get some of the tangles out and soften your paint job a bit. Once brushed out, we're going to ruin that brush job by teasing our wig till it stands up in all directions. As I mentioned in other videos, I like to tease my wigs using a teasing brush, but a fine-tooth comb works just as well. However, from my experience, a teasing brush will make it go a whole lot faster. So once your wig is teased all over, it's time to start styling. Now I'm going to speed this footage up a bit because otherwise it'll be super slow and boring to watch, but hopefully you'll get the idea. First things first, I like to start with the hairs around the face. Deku has these really cute curly pieces that frame his face, so to get my pieces to curl a little, I'm using a curling iron on medium heat to slightly curl my pieces. With wig hairs, when you go to curl them, you have to make sure you hold them in place while they cool down. It's the cooling process that sets the plastic fibers in place. Once cool, it should stay flipped in that direction. For the rest of the wig, I take chunks, tease them up, and then curl the ends to try to imitate the outline of Deku's hair, since his hair is just a giant mass of green fluff. I do this all over the wig, pulling out a section, teasing it, trimming the ends, hairspraying, and curling the tips if that section needs it. If you want a more in-depth explanation of how I tease each piece, I've made a couple videos already on how to do that, so links will be in the description. Now, I'll let this run a bit longer to give you guys a little bit more of a demo on me spiking the wig, and then I'll finish up with the results. So when I finish up any wig, I always seal the tips with some clear tacky glue, twisting the hairs together. This gives the wig a cleaner appearance as well as holds your spikes together a lot better than just hairspray. However, once I'm done with the tacky glue, I always spray my wigs down with 4 to 5 coats of hairspray just to make sure they stay together and that all my spikes are secure. Once I'm done with that, I trim any long hair sticking out of my spikes and then I'm done. So that's how I style a Deku wig. I hope this walkthrough helped, and if there are any other wigs you'd like to see me style, please leave your suggestions in the comments below. And as always, thanks so much for watching, and I hope this helps you with your own wig adventures.